is classic, informative, very thought-provoking and very stimulating. Your stimulating political talk show is right on your radio. Good afternoon, folks, wherever you are. Welcome to it. You can't beat it. It is one of the best you find in the country. And of course, Kia Radio 95.9. Beaming live on our main studios here in Central Monrovia. On the UN Drive, right opposite the BTC Barrack, adjacent to Raditan Market. We are right here. It is a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday afternoon in the nation's capital, Monrovia. And I'm here. My name is Maurice Desmond Brown, of course. Your number one and usual companion. And I'm here to drive you until 6 p.m. this evening. And it's going to be information. Some people will say informative or infamous. Whatever you say, of course, is going to be information until 6 o'clock. So you're rocking with me until 6. But this time, it's not going to be music. It's not going to be anything. It's not going to be entertainment. But it's going to be information and education. So it's good to be here. What a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday afternoon it is in the nation's capital. And I'm here doing my best to keep you informed with all of the happenings in the country. We are still trying to establish contacts with few persons who want them to be our county correspondents. Once we can have that done, of course, but this time we'll now be cutting over to some of the counties to know what is happening there. Yeah, the counties need to tell us. So I'll be crossing over some days, and we're making all the efforts. We'll try to ask few of our colleagues who know exactly who they can recommend to us, so we can get few of our guys to help us. Help us to do some stuff, and they will help us to actually get some news from the counties. It is very important. You know, when you hear and sitting and hearing from the locals in the counties, it is very important, and it is good because then you know what is happening in those counties, and you can sit and talk about those issues. But it is the third day of the month of December. It is on Tuesday, the 3rd of December 2024. And today happens to be my anniversary, of course. Yeah, happy anniversary to me and my darling wife. Yeah, we are grateful for another year. Marina Izo, some of you know. Sometimes you want to turn back the hands of time. You want to undo some things, but it can't happen. I mean, that is for people who want to do it. But again, it is a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday afternoon. Welcome, folks. If you are in District number 1 up to District 17, if you are in other of the settlements, Broadville, Butnersville, Gatnersville, you are in New Georgia, you are in Yucatan, you are in Soniwen, you are around the Clay Street, every part of this country, the loops and corners of the country, you can just be assured that the 2 hours we have here, we're going to do our best. So those of you that want to catch us, you can catch us live on YouTube. Just log us in on Kia Network, just a Kia Network on YouTube, and you will see us live right on your screen. We're trying as much as possible. Our technicians are working to get our Facebook up. Yeah, once we can get the Facebook up, many of you will watch us live on Facebook. But for now, we are right on YouTube. You can catch us right there. So let me tell you what's the lineup for you. So shortly we'll go around the world to take some bits and pieces of news trending in some other countries around the world, African news, world news. We'll mix them up, and then we'll come to talk about the Kia Humanitarian Foundation and what are the things that they are involved with, after which we'll transition to politics. Then we'll talk about a country like Liberia. There are some breaking news that we need to let you know. So stick by your radio. You don't know what is coming up, but there are breaking news. And I want to let the cat out of the bag. I'm one of the first journalists to break some of the news. I'm going to be breaking this afternoon. Yeah, so it's good to be here. So shortly, this is where we go next. Let's go here. Take bits and pieces of news for you. On the third day of the month of December, the year is 2024. I'm Morris Desmond Brown, your usual host on the program inside Liberia on Kia Radio 95.9. We're gonna mix them up. We have few news for you, but we're starting with Africa. Maybe we'll go on the international scene, maybe in Europe or so, but we are starting with Africa. With the latest coming in from the Democratic Republic of Congo, we are told that an unknown disease has killed over 143 people. You know, most of the deadly disease or diseases that occurred in Africa normally come from Congo. What is happening with this country? Well, let's read and know what is happening in that part of Africa. An unknown disease killed 143 people in the southwest province of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Local authorities told Reuters News. Infected people had flu-like symptoms, including light fever and severe headaches and rheumatic Saki and Deputy Governor of Congo Province and Minister of Health said on Monday. A medical team has been sent to the Panzi Health Zone to collect samples and carry out an analysis to identify the disease. The situation was extremely worrying, and as the number of infected people continue to rise, Panzi is a rural health zone, so there is a problem with the supply of medicines. Mazinza said, sick people die in their own homes for lack of treatment, Saka and Yuba said. A local epidemiologist said women and children were most seriously affected by the disease. The World Health Organization spokesperson said on Tuesday the UN Health Agency had been elected to the presence of the disease last week, and it was working alongside with the Democratic Republic of Congo's health ministry to make further investigations. What is happening to DRC? That's the Democratic Republic of Congo. Remember there where we found Ebola that killed thousands of people in the world. Still trying to get bits and pieces of news for you. Let's go to Canada. Let's see what is happening in Canada. I'm told Justin Trudeau promises Trump that Canada will increase border surveillance. What does that mean for the United States of America, new President Donald J. Trump? Let's read. Justin Trudeau promised Donald Trump that Canada would increase surveillance over the long undefended joint border, a senior Canadian officer said on Sunday. The Canadian Prime Minister flew to Florida on Friday to have dinner with the U.S. President-elect, who was promised to slip tariff on Canadian imports unless Ottawa prevents undocumented people and drugs from across their frontier. Canada sends 75% of all goods and services exports to the United States, and tariff will badly hurt the country. Public Safety Minister Dominic Liblick, who sat at the head table with Trudeau and Trump, said the two men discussed additional security measures Canada will be introducing. We are going to look to some procedures, for example, additional drones, additional police helicopters. We are going to redeploy personnel as such as a reassurance exercise. We believed that these measures will help. Believe that the border is secured, he told the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. It is important, I think, to show Canadians that the American that we are stepping up in a visible and muscular way, and that is exactly what we are doing and we are going to do, he added, promising more details in the days and weeks to come. Canada, he said, will continue to make the case that tariff will be damage. Tariff will damage both countries, given how interconnected the two countries' economies are. I am confident that the Americans will understand that it is not in their interest to proceed in this way, he said, describing the dinner meeting as very warm and cordial. Trump said on Saturday he discussed the border trade and energy in a very productive meeting with Trudeau. Let's see what is happening in Mexico. Going straight to Mexico. Yeah, we're just circulating from Canada to Mexico. And again, it is on Trump in Mexico. Let's see what Trump is saying about Mexico this time. Trump threats and mounting dangers in Mexico drive immigrant rush towards U.S. Outside the immigration office, Tinto subtly pointed out the white for human smuggling, learning against the war. They have already tried to sell their service to Tito, who was on his way to the U.S. but, like everyone else, they found themselves trapped in Tapachula, a town in southern Mexico that has become a hub for immigrants. Still looking for the news for you. Getting bit in pieces of news. Let's go over to South Korea. Something is happening there. Yeah, going around the world taking bit and pieces of news for you. It's very satisfying as we cruise towards a very successful successful presentation today. South Korea MPs defied President's declaration of martial law as crowds gathered. South Korea National Assembly has voted to block an attempt by the president, Young Song-Yeol, to declare martial law, leaving the future of its emergency measure unclear as protesters and armed forces gathered in Seoul. There was jubilation outside the National Assembly building late on Tuesday night as hundreds of people gathered to witness armed forces enter the building as lawmakers flocked to the legislature to hold an emergency session to block Yu's sudden declaration. And these are legislatures that are very serious around the world. You have declared martial law in an unannounced late-night televised address, claiming he will eradicate shameless pro-North Korean anti-state forces. It is the first time since 1980 that martial law was declared in South Korea. Shockwaves through the country, which had a series of authoritarian leaders early in its history, but has been considered democratic since the 1980s. Korean won was done sharply against the US dollars. A central bank official said it was preparing measures to stabilize the market if needed. Still getting bits and pieces of news for you. We can get probably one or two, but this time I want to get it from Africa. Trying to get something for you from Africa. Be patient a little bit. We are getting there. Going back to the Democratic Republic of Congo. At least 10 people have been killed and an unknown number of others kidnapped in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, the DRC, by extremist rebels linked to the Islamistic group, a military spokesman said on Monday. The rebels from the Alliance Democratic Forces ADF is afflicted in the region, attacked the Badinki Mambut area in North Kivu province on Sunday night, according to spokesman Mark Hazike. Several horses were set on fire during the attack. He added. Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo has been plagued by armed violence for decades, as more than 120 groups fight for power, land, and valuable mineral resources, while others try to defend their communities. Some armed groups have been accused of massacres. The violence has forced nearly 7 million people to flee their homes. In recent years, attacks by allied democratic forces have intensified and spread to Goma, the main city in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, and to neighboring Aturu province. Right groups in the United Nations have accused the ADF of killing hundreds of people and abducting others, including men and children. Early this month, the ADF killed at least 13 people in another North Kivu village. That's all we have for you. We can return to talk about all of the rolling issues now in Liberia. And this is where the station you can only hope that you always listen to. And this is Kia Radio 95.9. We are coming to you live from Central Monrovia, specifically on the UN Drive in Central Monrovia, right opposite the BTC barrack, adjacent the Radita Market. And we bring you very, very good programs of information, education, as well as entertainment. But at this time, we are very keen on informing you about issues happening in the country. And so we are grateful that you have joined us. And you will not regret joining us for the few hours that we are here for. You will definitely not regret it. We will do our best to keep you informed. Like I said, there are some breaking news as well. We will be giving to you. That is what we do here. We go after the news. And that is what we are not sitting. We go after the news to get it for you, because we know you are eager to know what is happening in your country. And we are eager to letting you know again what is happening in your country. So it is good, and we can only hope for a better Liberia. So the Kia Humanitarian Foundation, we are very keen on telling you about the Kia Humanitarian Foundation. The Kia Humanitarian Foundation is the owner of Kia Radio 95.9, Kia Communications Network. And so the foundation is a non-for-profit organization. Non-for-profit means they do not do things for profiteering or profit making. That is why the station, though, is a subsidiary of the Kia Humanitarian Foundation, but it operates separately on a communication matter. As compared to the foundation runs a pro bono services. Pro bono services means they attend to the ordinary people, help them in terms of needs. And I can remember vividly a few months back, we were in the Simpabridge community. District, is that District 16? Yes. We're in District 16. And what did we do? We built, with the acquiescence of our dynamic and hard-working illustrious CEO, Mr. Christopher Kia and his wife in the United States, along with his team. And they gave us support on the ground, the team on the ground. They gave us support, financial support, because the CEO saw this lady, and there was this video circulating on the social media with the home of this lady falling apart, and her children and her were in the rain. The rain is falling heavily, and she got her young children. They are in the rain and they are getting wet because the house is virtually leaking. And upon seeing the video on the social media, the CEO got concerned. I mean, from what I heard, he got so emotional and he decided to do something about it. He called the team on the ground. We talked to him and he said, we need to do this for this family. And that work started. We removed the roof from that building into a farm. We renovated the entire place. The place never had some of the things we did there. We gave the home a new look, changing what it used to be to a modern home. It used to be a mud building and whatsoever. We did it concrete and we just did a very good job there. We painted, did everything we should, and then we turned it over to the family. And that family could not hold back. They were in tears when we dedicated that project a few months back. We went into a farm community. We called the neighbors to come and celebrate with her while we're turning the house over to her. The CEO left in the States, in the United States, and cut the ribbon, and we officially opened the house and turned it over to that family. Today, that family is very grateful to the Care Humanitarian Foundation for helping them. They're very grateful that we were able to step in when others did not see it the way the CEO saw it. We're able to step in when they badly needed our attention, they badly needed support, they needed help. And the help they needed, they didn't need cash to be in their hands. What they wanted was somebody to take them from a leaking home to a home that they will say to themselves that we are sleeping under a roof. Let me tell you, all along in my renting thing, I hate house or hate to rent to a place that is leaking. You will not have rest because in the middle of the night while you are busy sleeping, you see raindrops or a drop of droplets, dropping on you or whatever it is. You have the whole bed wet. You have your room flooded with water. I can't contend with that. I can live anywhere, but area that you got to contend with water. No. I can't. And so that project was turned over to the owners. We turned it over. We gave them a new meaning. We're not saying this because we want to tell you that the Care Humanitarian Foundation is not a profit-making foundation. It is meant to give back to the ordinary people. Mr. Christopher Care, who went to school in Liberia, he walked many days to go to school. He walked under the rain. He was telling me one story the other day. We and I were talking. He said, Desmond, I had to walk under the rain to go to school. And when I get to school, I have to wait outside for my clothes to get dry before I enter the classroom. And because he went through those horrible stories and horrible things and experiences that he had in the past, he thought to give back to the ordinary people. And that is why Mr. Christopher Care doesn't scratch his head when it comes to humanitarian services, when it comes to helping the ordinary people. When it comes to helping people, he doesn't look back. He told me how he struggled some days. He used to live Cloud Town. And he had to walk several miles, from Cloud Town to Nipodrian, see the distance. He had to walk. Go to school every day, walk back. And later on, his father started to teach. His father became a teacher, and his mother was a gardener, agriculturist. She grew her little, pepper and bitter ball and other things to send him to school. And you see how humble And from the humble beginning that this man comes from, so he is giving back to society today. Giving back to society. He's letting society know that it is not all about yourself. It is not all about you. You must be able to give to the ordinary people. You must be able to give back to the ordinary people. And that is exactly what he's doing. Mr. Christopher Kia did not stop there. There are several other initiatives that are ongoing. There are also ones that we have already completed. Like the issue of our scholarship. I don't like to call. I love to call it a fully funded financial aid. The reason why I do not want to call it scholarship, there's a difference between scholarship and financial aid. Some of us went to school on scholarship. We know what a scholar should be. A scholar should score at least 85 and above. At least 85 and above. And some of us sitting here, we are scholars. Because we went on a scholarly scholarship, on a scholarly journey. And today, we can boast of ourselves. So, I know who a scholar is. But in this case, we are not asking, ask anybody who go to school on scholarship. What is being provided? That is why Liberians do not know the difference between financial aid and scholarship. The same way today, I tell people there's a difference between the word empathy and the word sympathy. Empathy is when you put yourself in the shoes of a particular person. That is empathy. You put yourself in the shoes of that person. Sympathy means you just tell the person, I'm sorry for what has happened to you. But when you put yourself in the shoes of that person, thinking that what if this situation would have been me? That is empathy. So there is sympathy. There is sympathy and there is empathy. The same way, there is a difference between stationary and stationary. Not many people will know. STATRONAR, stationary. STATRONER, stationary. The two do not mean the same thing. They are two different words, two different things. The same way with the word saloon and saloon. There is one there with double O, SALOON, and SALON. Saloon, saloon. They are all pronounced the same. In English, we call those words homophones. HOMOPHONES, homophones. But that is not the discussion. I just want us to know that there are difference between the word financial aid and scholarship. For some of us that went to school on scholarship, they gave you a grade mark. They gave you a point. They gave you a score mark to reach. If you can't reach that score mark, you are off. You can't be on a scholarship. They gave you that ceiling. They gave you that academic ceiling. You must reach there. You must score out 85 and above. None of your grades should be anywhere around 84. For 85 and above. And your school fees will be paid and you have everything once you can reach that mark. You form up one time. That is, if you fail to reach the mark one time, you are off. You are off. That means you're not part of the scholarship anymore. That is how it works. That is what we call scholarship. But what Mr. Christopher Kia is offering is financial aid. Because we do not push the students, we do not tell them score 85 and above. We say go to school. All we want to see is for you to go to school. That is why Mr. Christopher Kia will buy the copybook, he buy the pencil, he buy the pen, he buy the shoes, he buy the book bag, he buy the socks, he buy the uniforms, and then he pay the school fees 100%. The financial aid. Because we are not asking the students to score a mark. If we wanted to say scholarship, Mr. Christopher Care wanted scholarship, he would have said, let the students score this mark. But he said, no, I'm giving them financial aid. All I want them to do is to go to school and be serious. Maybe some of them could even score beyond the 85. They could even do better. So let them not put them under pressure. All I want to see them doing is to go to school. And all the students we're talking about, we bought their copybooks, we bought their shoes, we bought their pencils, we bought their pen, we bought their book bags, we bought their socks, we bought everything that they need to go to school. We bought it. People who on scholarship cannot get those kind of. When we were on scholarship, they're not buying our shoes, they're not buying our uniforms, they're not buying. The only thing they were paying was the school fees. You have absolutely nothing to do with school fees issue. When the time comes for school fees, the school fees will be paid. But this one, I want to call it a financial aid. And the NGO or the foundation, the Care Humanitarian Foundation, is a pillow of four. It's a conglomeration of 4 pillows. And these pillows are the nucleus to which the foundation runs. We have the educational pillow. Like I'm just from drilling you through to tell you what are the marks we've made in education. We've been able to do a lot to pay the school fees of students in this town. When school fees are skyrocketing, most of the private schools and public schools are, especially private schools, are astronomically increasing their fees. Arbitrarily. Nobody is asking them to do so, they're doing it. Has the government probed into that? No, the government hasn't. That's a topic for another time on the aspect of the government. But it's as a result of the failure of government to intervene in these sectors. That is why the Care Humanitarian Foundation is here to help. We're helping the educational sector. Today, we have students that are going to school, and we know exactly what it is to sponsor people in this town. We know what it is to pay the fees of people. We know what it means. Today, those fees have been paid. The health sector. The Care Humanitarian Foundation may not have a health services providing right now, but we are providing services in the United States. Our CEO, Mr. Christopher Care, got what is called Amazing Care in the United States of America, providing services for thousands and hundreds of people in the United States. Do we intend to do the same here? Yes. The same will be applied to Liberia. We have our health services, and Liberian people will be served. We have the agricultural component. We have the agricultural component. Why did Mr. Christopher Care inculcate? Why did he include agriculture and education? From the little historicity that I've given you, his father was an educator, his mother an agriculturist, a gardener. So you can see the interest. And so we have that component. We have the agricultural component. We have the sanitational arm that deals with WASH. You know, WASH is about safe drinking water to people, getting communities where water is a problem, getting, a good toilet facilities, and, making the community habitable, all of these things. It is part of the workings of the Care Humanitarian Foundation. And Do we intend to do more? Yes. We intend to do more, and that is why everything that should be done will continuously set the basic for the CEO support to continue. So we hope and pray that all of these things come to fruition, and the Care Humanitarian Foundation will continue to provide these services for our people. The Care Humanitarian Foundation now has a new acting executive director. That's Mr. Jeniton T. Molba, and it's a young man, and he's doing marvelous, and I think he can drive the dream as we want it, and so all of us will be a part of it to making sure that it works the way it should. Let's move on to politics. We've talked enough of the Care Humanitarian Foundation. We've talked a lot. It is time we talk politics. And some people will be asking, what is the latest in the country? There are too many things happening. But we'll do a little bit of flashback on what we said yesterday and what we're going to say on today. So, on yesterday, we told you that the National Elections Commission has dismissed over 50 of its employees. Today, I talked with few of the people that were affected. I talked with them on the phone. You know, as a journalist, I always told people, we have a job. We have something that a lot of people do not have. And what we have is the method. The method of trying to do the little we can do. And the little we can do is to elevate discussions that are worth elevation. To elevate discussions that are worth elevation. Those over 50 employees that has been or that were illegally or that were allegedly laid off have families. Let's agree each of them have up to 10 dependents, 10 persons depending on them. So it's 50 times 10. So each of these people have 10 persons. So if you have about 500 persons feeding on these people and 500 persons are about to go hungry, it is something we need to talk about. In journalism, we call that human interest story. That is human interest story. It must be elevated. These people should be given due process. Like I said yesterday, they were wrong to have taken drums, sasas, musical instruments to their workplace or in the compound of where they work to disturb the peace of the place. But again, the administration overly reacted. They overly reacted. And my thing is, if Liberia as a country must move from this stage that it is in, we must learn how to love one another. We must learn how to love one another. I mean, I'm not saying the administration should not take administrative actions on people who are somehow deviant, but there must be a measure. There must be retribution that could commensurate with what they've done. If you overly punish the man, there's a problem. I call that over punishment. Like I said yesterday, We stand with the people, and we think there was some overreactions, and we think it should not happen. So we believe that the authorities of the National Election Commission will rescind their decision of laying off these people. We are hoping that will happen. Yeah, so uh, so that is it. That is it. We will do what we can do. So yes, we still have some other things to talk about, folks. The Supreme Court this week, I'm told by my sources at the Supreme Court that this week the Supreme Court might, and I'm using the word might. You know, in law, there are a few words that I use in law that I like. You know, when the law says shall or may, might. You know, these are legal words. So I'm careful when I'm on radio, when I'm talking. I love to use these words. So when the recording is played in the coming days, you will say, but he left room for this. Yeah, I always leave room for these things. So the Supreme Court might come down with the ruling in the case involving the national legislature, the two factions, the majority bloc, and lawyer representing the interests of House Speaker J. Funanti Kofa. Now listen to me. I will say for the record on this radio, without nothing attached, like I said, this radio station do not hold loyalty. We do not hold loyalty to any political institution. We are not for the Unity Party. We are not for the CDC. We are not for the ANC, the Alternative National Congress. We're not for the People Liberation Party. We are not for People Unification Party. We're not for any political institution in this country. We are independent. As a journalist, I'm saying on this radio that until the Supreme Court comes out with a ruling, I still maintained that Representative Funanti Kofa is still the legitimate Speaker of the 55th National Legislature. I am saying this because of law extent. I'm saying this because the law protects what I say. Until the Supreme Court can rule in all of the cases before her that concerns the National Legislature, Honorable J. Funanti Kofa is still the Speaker. Why? Go back to the Supreme Court's earlier ruling of a temporary stay order. That stay order was temporary. Why? The Supreme Court works in a way that the courts, now limit or use the Supreme Court as a case study. No, but let's say the courts. The court do not permit that an action happen before they can put a stay order. If for any reason somebody is threatening to kill someone and they have already gotten all of the clues to kill that person, and you go to court, the court will order that you do not kill the man until you can look in the case. In fact, I'm just citing that instant, but there is no instant that will go to the court or no case that will go to the court where the court will say, don't kill the man until we finish looking the case, because killing is against the law already. But I'm just saying to you, before an action occurs, the court must take due cognizance of the matter first and put a temporary stay order that will allow for a comprehensive judicial adjudication. That adjudication will help the two parties to know who is legally standing and who is not legally standing. Who is legally standing and who is not legally standing. So, people do not go to court because they want to show strength. People do not go to court because they want to fight and they want to see people fight. They want to see people, or they want people to see them holding up their muscles to fight. No. People go to court because the law is the final arbiter. If you read the Constitution provides that the Supreme Court or the Supreme Court is the highest arbiter of decision making in the country. So the Supreme Court is there to interpret the laws, to explain the laws, to tell you what the law extent is. So when the case was taken to the court, the court look at the case and say, listen, these people were somewhere before they reached here. They were somewhere. So the first thing we're going to say to them, go back to where you were first while we're looking at the case. If we see the case that where you have come, all the way that you've come from where you were and you have come there, and we see that your action leading to where you have come is legal, we allow the process to flow. But if coming to where you have come is illegal, directly we will send you back. So that is what the court is looking into now. Whether the majority bloc has the constitutional backing, whether they have the constitutional backing to have section. Now, we'll look at a few laws. And though the case is before the Supreme Court, we are only explaining why the Supreme Court is looking into it, even though the legislature itself, and some members of the legislature have been saying that the court is meddling in their affairs. I don't know what they call meddling. I really don't know what their justification of the Supreme Court, getting involved or what happened. Listen, when we're down the line and we're learning civics, there is this simple thing we used to say, and I know everybody in the country know about it. We used to say there are three branches of our government. They have separate powers, but they work well in collaboration with one another. Coordination. Each branch look out for the other. Now, I listen to some lawmakers, and this is so unfortunate. And like I said, I'm leading a revolution. I'm leading a revolution before 2029. Pray for long life and I pray for good health. I'm leading a revolution for plenty representatives to be replaced. Because as it stands, most of the people who are lawmakers, they do not understand their role as lawmakers. Most of our people who are serving in the legislature, they do not know why they are there. They do not know. Most of the people serving in the legislature do not know why they are at the legislature. I will lead a revolution. And that revolution will take into consideration that there are some lawmakers who are also performing. We will blow vuvuzela for them. We will sing their songs. Even if they do not call us. We don't need their call. I told you several times, I told you time of our numbers, that I, Morris Desmond Brown, as a journalist in this country, I do not need any lawmaker to call me and give me money for me to talk about the good things you do in your district. I do not need it. The only thing I need, if you want the station that I work with to provide coverage for you, you come and do the needful. We send the team will go there and cover your program and do what they are supposed to do. That one you have to pay for the services. But individually, for me as a person, you say you want to pay me for me to talk about what you do in your district, the good thing you do in your district. No. Like I was one journalist in this country who admired Emma Mattia Glasgow, the lady at NAFA, National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority. I admire Emma Glasgow because Emma was very proactive. Emma knew exactly what she wanted. Emma was making strides in the aquaculture sector, the fishery sector of the country. So I needed Emma Glasgow to call me first and tell me when she signed a deal of $30-40 million grant to provide boats or to provide fishing nets or to provide some other services to the fishermen of the country. I need Emma Glasgow to call me and give me money for talking on the radio. No, I don't need it. If the Minister of Education goes to a particular school and see that there are wrong things happening and he got the power or she got the power to dismiss that particular person that is creating the stalemate or creating the problem at that institution and they can weed them out, do I need the Minister of Education to call me and say, oh, this is so thing I want you to talk about it? No. I just need to know that the person did it. Because the educational sector of our country is messy. It's bad. We'll talk about that. So, the legislature cannot say, and people in the legislature cannot be telling us, and that's the thing that hurt me so much. For a lawmaker to say the Supreme Court meddling in our business. The Supreme Court meddling? Can the Supreme Court meddle? No. The Supreme Court do not meddle in people's cases. That's why the Supreme Court up there, they do not look for cases. They do not go down looking for cases all around. There's somebody, the legislature fighting. They're doing their thing. The other person won't move the other person. The other person won't do the Supreme Court will not call the two parties. They will not get anything to do it until a complainant is being identified. That is, until somebody take the case to the Supreme Court and say, my rights have been violated. Because the Supreme Court is key on due process and people's right. If your right is being violated, the Supreme Court is key. The courts in the country they're so key to the issue of people's rights being violated. Your rights should not be violated. So, if you go to the court and say, yeah, I brought a case because I'm being marginalized or there is this thing happening to me, the court will look inside. But if you don't carry a case to the court will not get involved. So, I don't know where the issue of meddling came from. But now it is clear. The fact that the people from the majority bloc, they were able to have a lawyer representing them before the full bench of the Supreme Court, it means that they know that the Supreme Court is not meddling anymore. Oh yeah. They know now that the Supreme Court is not what? It's not meddling because the Supreme Court say, come and file in your returns. There is a case before us that requires your urgent attention. Come to us, explain to us that legal argument, so let's have the legal argument and let's see from your side whether you are right or you are wrong. What they did, they got their counsel. Former Senator Vani Botolaminu Shem. He represented them at the court. On the day of the argument, I was there at the Supreme Court. I love to follow legal cases because that's my next profession. That's the next one I'm going to pursue by God's grace. I went to the court and I sat in the chambers of the Supreme Court. And Arthur Johnson, representing the legal interests of Fanatic Kofa, they sat in that place and they argued legally. So I don't know where the issue of meddling came from. Because I heard a few lawmakers talking about meddling. Like the representative of District Number 8, where our radio station is. What is the name? Prince Toes, right? Representative Prince Toes said the Supreme Court is meddling for nothing after the Supreme Court came down with a temporary stay order to say, everybody stay put. Everywhere you are, just stay there. Don't take no action. Come before us. Come before the Supreme Court. The next thing we heard the representative saying is that the Supreme Court is meddling in the business of the legislature. And I want lawmaker, I think, that do not know what he's up Capitol Hill for. I'm being honest with you. The first time we heard that lawmakers were being bribed, they were taking bribed, and there were allegations of bribery. The first name we heard in the middle of all of these things was Representative Prince Toes. His name was in the center of it. In fact, it was alleged that he was the one sharing the scratch card. He was the one sharing the money that was being dished out. That was the first attempt to have removed Speaker Kofa. That did not materialize. Today, people are on the other side. I do not have, and let me say it for the record, I do not have interest on who becomes Speaker of Liberia. I do not have interest. Fonati stays there. I don't have interest. He goes. I don't have interest. Because I am not a personal friend of Fonati. I do not know him. I have not sat with him before. I have not been anywhere in any close proximity with him before. I'm not. I do not know where any Kun or Rachel Kun. I do not know him. I'm not sat in any close proximity with him before. So I do not have interest. My interest is Liberia. That is my interest. And many people do not regard that as interest. But for me, it is an interest to me. Liberia is an interest. I got my kids. I got children growing up. I got my relative children growing up. If a country is not the way it should, our children will not have the best future that they should have. I was telling one of my colleagues the other day, I said, for me, I'm living my future already. What we're fighting for right now is for our children's future. It's our children's future we're fighting for. You and I, who are already we've crossed our 35, going up to our 40s and other stuff, we do not have a future. We're living our future. It is the kids that we are fighting for. We are fighting for the kids. How do they have good future? And for them to have good future, we must talk about Liberia every day. We must talk about the ills in society. We must talk about how the country is being governed. If the country is not being governed the right way, we must talk about it. I've told you relatively every time I sit on this radio, and I'll tell you again, you do not need a good president for a country. What you need is a good legislature. You do not need a good president for a country. What you need is a good legislature. That's all you need. That's all you need. You don't need a good president. I'm saying it again. But you need a good legislature. When the legislature is good, the president is bound, he's forced, he's compelled to be a good president. Because whatever he or she does will be checkmated. The legislature will cross-check it. That is their work. So when I heard some of the lawmakers, especially District Number 8, where our station is situated, I heard District Number 8 representative saying that the court is meddling into what they are doing. It is a problem. I felt so bad that day that a lawmaker will not know what is referred to as meddling. So he says the Supreme Court do not have right to tell them what to do. I agree with that. The Supreme Court is not telling you what to do. If it is a political matter, the Supreme Court will not tell you what to do in a political matter. That is business. But if it is a legal matter, the Supreme Court will tell you what to do, because it is the Supreme Court that is the highest arbiter of decision making in the country. As one of the supporters of one of the lawmakers and I asked him a question. I said, let me ask you a question. Who gave the legislature contempt power? And he could not talk. I said, and the lawmakers can call people to the Capitol building and say you coming on a contempt charge? He said yes. Who gave them that power to say people can come on a contempt charge? Are they the courts? No. The legislature is not a court. Do they function as a quasi-judicial body? Yes, they do. Because when they put people on a contempt charge, they can tell you to bring a lawyer when you go in there. That's a quasi-judicial system they've set up. I'm still looking for where the Constitution gave them that contempt charge, that power. I'm still looking for it. But if they had it, fine. But do you know that the lawmakers can send to jail a minister without the approval of the Supreme Court? Without the approval of anybody, they can send a minister to jail. Do you know that? Where does the minister work? Does the minister work in the legislature? No. The minister works directly with the executive branch. Is he accountable to the legislature? No, in some way he's not accountable to the legislature. He's accountable to the president who appointed him. Because I told you before, the line of people working in government in terms of being minister, deputy minister, or whatever, it is the prerogative of the president. If I am president of the country and I appoint you, Mr. X, as my minister of education, and I wake up one morning and maybe in the night I was sleeping and I saw you in my dream, you were making me scary. I woke up in the morning and I said, my man, that minister again, I saw you in my sleep last night. You're making me afraid. The legislature cannot tell the president, say, don't sack that minister. But you see how the government works? Before that minister is approved, even though that is now I see the process of getting a minister is in stages. And in Liberia, most people do not know the stages. First, the president will nominate. That thing the president can do first, and I appointment. And in Liberia, we can say the president appointed additional officials of his government. That nomination and not appointment. There's a difference between nomination and appointment. The president nominates, and that person goes before the legislature. And they go there with their credential, they go there for them to cross-check them whether they're able, whether they are suitable, or they are able, and they are, whether they pass the test of being a minister. After that, their names are forwarded back to the president and say, this person meet the criteria, they are good, they answer the questions, they told us what their plans are when they get there, and so they're okay. The names are forwarded back to the president. The president then appoints. The president then will appoint the person officially with a letter. That letter of appointment will tell them in that letter, you are now the minister. It will not be minister designate, because when you are a minister designate, meaning you are not minister yet, you are awaiting confirmation from the Liberian Senate. But when the Liberian Senate send your name back to the president and say, Mr. President, this man passed the test, he passed all of the questions, he's good to go, his credentials are good, they are in tight, the president then appoint you with a letter. Normally they can call it a green letter. When you get that green letter, you are appointed by the president now. After the appointment process, there is another process called the commissioning. That is to give you charge. To tell you that I'm the minister designate, go through the process. I am okay. The president appoints me as the Minister of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism. The president will now commission me. In my commissioning ceremony, the president will tell me, give me the charge and say, Mr. Minister, You are supposed to do this. You are supposed to do that. Go and serve well. Go and make sure you do this. That is the commissioning ceremony. These are all things that should be done before a person takes office. So all these things, in the legislature, what I just explained, the government, the president, or the executive branch, and the legislature, and the working hand here, the president nominates, they go to the Senate confirm the person, they come back. It is a whole team, right? Why the lawmaker can say they meddling in the work of the president too? Why they say so? But when there are constitutional problems, when there are issues that need constitutional interpretation, we can go to the executive to go interpret that constitutional issue to us. We can go to the legislature to go interpret it. We go to the court, to the Supreme Court. We go to the judiciary. Then when they interpret the law to us. So for a lawmaker to have said what he said, to say the court meddling into their affair, and one thing they need to know, to remove a speaker is not a political action, it is a legal action. Because to put a speaker in seat, or to make somebody a speaker, it is a legal matter, because the Constitution provides for that. The Constitution says after the election, they will elect. After they elected the representative themselves will go to elect their speaker. They will go to work to elect their own speaker. They will make their first among equals. They'll make their first among equals. So that the Constitution back them to do what they're doing. Now, I hear them, I don't understand this. And I want you to listen very well. Those of you that are listening, listen to this. No law, no statute, no handbook whatsoever has preference over the Constitution. Not even the legislative rules. If the matter we're discussing is constitutional and it is being mentioned in the Constitution, what the Constitution say that it will take preeminence, that it will take control, that not the law that they get, that they have said ruled, that not the statute, that not the rules. Rules and statutes are subject to the constitutionality of a case. The rules can take preference over the Constitution. Not possible. Where you see that happening? I see them quoting rules. Everywhere you pass, Rule 28 say, Rule 35 say, Rule 56 say. What did the Constitution say? It's not about the rules. It's about what the Constitution says. Because the Constitution is the organic laws of the country. But first, let me tell you what is breaking. The breaking news is that all the things we're doing, do you know that a week ago, the budget was submitted to the majority bloc, and the deputy chief clerk got hold of the budget, took it to the majority bloc, and it was in just one stuff. Later on, they went to do the mass production of the budget by the Ministry of Finance. Ministry of Finance did it. They took it back to the legislature, to the majority bloc, to have discussed the budget. While they were on the grounds of the Capitol building, the guys who took the budget to the Capitol building, they were called. I don't know who called them. But they just packed all the booklet, the budget booklet, packed in the car, and took it back to Finance Ministry. Do you want to hear the breaking news? The breaking news is that the government of Liberia has again resubmitted the budget, but this time around to the Speaker, to Honorable J. Fonante Kofa. Oh, it's shocking you, eh? No, it should not shock you, because when the court just ruled in recent time, when the court put a stay order, they said to the parties involved, Go back. They say go back. Status quo ante. In law, when they say go back to status quo ante, meaning you should go back to where you were. That place you were before you reach to where you are now. You must go back there. Okay. I came in the studio, cover be excuse, and I came inside to destroy something. But in the process, somebody came and complain also. And then the management come and say, we hearing that you went inside in the studio there to destroy some things, but anyway, can't also ye. Can't also until we can check to know whether you spoil something or you not spoil something. But you can't be inside and we check. You gotta be also fair. So go back also, go sit down in your seat. The place you are sitting for before you move from there to kind of spoil the thing, you won't spoil inside. So what is Supreme Court say? Supreme Court said go back. And you have speaker, that speaker must take charge. You must go back to the same rules, the things you were doing before, go back there until we can look in the case. So, was the executive wrong or right to have submitted the budget? They were not in error to submit the budget. The legitimate people who said, yes, and I see everybody running with this issue of quorum. They meet quorum. Yes. They not meet quorum. But their own rule and the Constitution says, now let's use their rules. Their own rules say, the deputy speaker, because their own is, if you have not removed the speaker, the deputy speaker can preside. You must remove the speaker, then the speaker will not have any legal authority to preside or any session, then you can use the deputy speaker. In this case, they did not remove the speaker, but they started using the deputy speaker to preside over sections, which was wrong, unconstitutional, unlawful, even for their own rules. Because the rules say in their own rule, it says the deputy speaker can only preside when the speaker is not in the bailiwick of the country. And that the speaker gave his blessing to the deputy speaker to preside. In this case, did Thomas Fala get any blessing from Fanatic Kofa to go preside our session? No. These are just common legal matters. Common legal matters. But in all of this, folks, what I want you to know, why I am not giving all on the legislative matter, because you need to know this. Some of you will say, but why is it just on the legislature, just on the legislature? You do not need a good president in a country. You need a good legislature. Let me tell you what is happening in Uganda now that is forcing the president to do what he's doing. Lawmakers in Uganda do not make plenty of money. It is a shame that our lawmakers here make thousands of US dollars and do nothing. It is a shame. It is a shame. You know how much lawmakers making you wonder? While I'm on the radio, I want you to be checking. Those of you who are fast checkers. Those of you who are fast checkers, check it. Lawmakers in Rwanda make around $1,290. $1,290 US dollars. How much are we make here? Go calculate. You'll be calculating to you around 11,000. $1,290. That is what the lawmakers in Rwanda make. How much do our lawmakers make here? And because the legislature cut their salary in Uganda, they said we're not making nothing above 1,290 US. We're not making above that. The president was forced to cut his salary. The president in Uganda makes around 4,000 US dollars. The president of Uganda makes how many dollars? 4,000. I want to get the exact figure for you, so you can know how much these people make and how much our people here make. The president of the Republic of Liberia make over 25,000 US dollars per month. The president of the Republic of Liberia makes over 25,000 US dollars per month. I'm not talking about the other small money. I'm talking about just the salary. Just the salary. Over 25,000 per month, folks. It's not fair. It's not fair for a country like Liberia. It's not fair for a small country like Liberia, man. Small country like that. Small country like this. The lawmakers make a lot of money. You know, sometimes I see my country, I am devastated by some of the things I see. Because it is terrible. It is a terrible thing. The president of Uganda makes around 4,000. 4,000 some change. US dollars. What do our president take home in Liberia? Our president take home over 25,000 US dollars per month. When you talk, they say, oh, don't compare Liberia, with other countries. But you wondering why Kigali is the cleanest city in Africa? You are wondering why Kigali, the capital of Uganda, why is it the cleanest city in Africa? You're trying to still wonder because the lawmakers have cut down their salary. Our own year, they're taking money to go lay down to RLJ. They take their salary, we pay them money for them to go capital building to make laws. They go to RLJ or what kind of J to go lie down there for weeks. All in the name of removing speaker. And folks, you are here wondering why I say that the country is not moving anywhere. You're here wondering why I say you need a good legislature and not a good president. Because when the legislature is good, the legislature will force the president to be good. Even if the president don't want to be good. The legislature will say, listen, Mr. President, the thing you're doing, we're not taking it. We're not taking it. They will not happen in Liberia. We're not accepting it. The president will not go to use veto power to do it. Because guess what? The same legislature can impeach the president. Oh, yes. The same legislature can impeach the president. So, folks, do you need a good president in a country or you need a good legislature? I'll be asking the question so that some of you can answer. Yeah, I agree now. The president is a good president. Who can force the president to be good at the legislature? Now, do you know that the president goes annually? They come in January now. President Baka will be going to the legislature in January to go explain to them in 1 year. Hey, 1 year stewardship, what he did. What has he done? When you go to report that to the legislature, you know why the legislature is one of the most important part of the country's governance system? Because the legislature, they represent the people. They represent the Liberian people. They represent you and I. They are direct representation of us because all of us cannot go sit at Capitol building. The building is small. So all of us can go sit there. So in our different constituencies, we elect one person who will go and represent us there. That will make them so powerful. So the president, one of the things you will do at the end of the year in January, you will go before the legislature and go tell them. Another thing you need to know, common, it's just a common sense, common thing that you need to know. The president do not go to the legislature in January to go and sit down. Not going there to go have seat. When you go before the legislature, because it's going to be a joint section. The reason why we need to have this situation, this problem solved even before January is because in January there will be a joint session. When there is a joint session, the speaker of the legislature, the speaker of the House, is the presiding officer. So you need to settle this matter before January. When the president go to the legislature, you can see him go stand up and we go get annual message. I think you can call it State of the Union or State of the Nation or State of the Union address. You can see the president sitting there. No, you will not sit down. Because it is not in his place to sit down there. The only time the president can sit down when the president finished giving his annual report. When the entire program finished, the president goes for dinner. Maybe when he sit down to the table to eat, I think he can sit down because they can have a place there to the same legislature where the president will go and eat. Maybe while he's there eating, then he can be saying that. And now when it's obvious, he will sit down. But before the legislature, he must stand and deliver that message. Folks, are you still wondering why we need a good legislature and not a good president? No, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we should not get a good president. That's what I'm saying. I say we should not get a good president. I'm saying if you get a good president, good. But if you do not succeed in getting a good president, get a good legislature. A good legislature will force the president to be good. Even if he doesn't want to be good, he will be good. Because if the legislature say, we are cutting our salary, Mr. President will cut your salary too. Because it is the legislature that does appropriation. Go read Article 35 of the Constitution. It says all financial instruments, all financial transactions, financial things that's all happening to the country, it emanates from the legislature, specifically the House of Representatives. Folks, when I say legislature, I'm talking about both the House of Representatives and the House of Senate. You do not necessarily need a good president. You need a good legislature. You need good lawmakers. And no lawmakers will pave the way. They will pave the way. Now listen, on the 31st of this month, December, on the show, on the 31st day of December, that will be the last day in this year, I will talk to a few of my colleagues, few journalists. They will sit with me on this platform. We will be assessing, we'll be looking at the Unity Party 1 year stewardship. We'll be looking at the 1 year stewardship. What has been their major achievement? We'll look at corruption. We'll look at the rule of law. We'll look at development. We'll look at the health sector. We'll look at education. And we'll be using stats. We'll be using statistics to know whether they've done well or they've failed in the first year. I know somebody will say it's too early to start judging them whether they have failed or they have made a significant strides, but we can critique them in their first year to know whether they've made any significant move. And we're going to do that on the 31st of this month. We'll have some other journalists that will join me. They will come and sit here. And we will talk about how the stewardship of the Unity Party in the 1 year stewardship. And that is why Unity partisans should get angry with their lawmakers for keeping the country hostage. They should not be getting fair with CDC lawmakers. In fact, the CDC lawmakers doing favor for the Unity Party. Because everything that is held hostage and that is being stagnated now, it is the working of the Unity Party lawmakers. You ask me why? The Unity Party lawmakers should know that they came to power on the matter of changing everything. They came on the matter of experience. They came on the matter of knowing that the past regime did not do anything and they have come to change it. And so, do not waste your time taking speaker from there. Do not waste your time looking for other things that you got no business looking for. Govern the people the way you should. For them to be taking the time, all the time they're supposed to. That's why one of their own Senator Amakone said, he is disappointed He's disappointed that in the first year of the Unity Party stewardship, they did not do anything significant. They didn't do anything significant. Is that good news? No. Because the Liberian people's expectation for this government is so high and huge. Everybody think that the government will come and just play magic. The same way the CDC supporters believe that the CDC would have played magic and will come and just change everything just in a year, and it did not happen that way. It took some time. Some structural changes will have to take place. Some other things will have to take place before you even get to where you're supposed to get. But at the end of the day, they won't quite face solution. But the reason why the government is under pressure is because this same government made their partisan and the Liberian people to believe that they have magic wand. They could just come and change things overnight. That they will not struggle. There will be no struggle. They will just come and just change the things. Everything will just change overnight. Everything will just change. It doesn't happen. The same false impression that CDC put their own supporters on, and at the end of the day, the supporters were against the CDC. It's the same thing this government is doing. The same way the CDC were governing, it's the same way the United Party government. There's nothing different. CDC people, they had government officials in power that were having government position, but yet instead they were having key position in their political parties. Like, for example, Jefferson Koji was Secretary General of the party and still Maria City Mayor. Nobody tell him for that. Several of them were in the CDC government. They were in the government at the same time they having party position. Like that, you did not distinguish between the party and the government. At the end of the day, party thing will be done to the office. Office will be done to the party, and just like that. Is this government following in the same steps? Yes. They are following the same thing. Amos 12 to FPRC. Is he not Secretary General of the United Party? He is. Where is he? He is the FPRC Managing Director, but he still holds his position. So what did this government came to change? What actually they came to change? Now I need to know, because the CDC follow in the same pursuit. We talk about it. We talk to them. We told them we're wrong. You can't do the same thing. What change is it? And you yourself talk about the same thing. You say it was wrong for people to occupy a party position at the same time being government and holding government position. I remember one retreat the president had in recent time. His Excellency President Joseph Newman Boaka, he asked people to resign their position. Either you choose one. Either you be with the party and you lead a government job, or you be with the government and lead a political party job. Since the president spoke, it's been almost 2-3 months now. People still occupying their positions. The two positions they got. Amos 12 is one. FPRC boss. The party chairman, Luther Tape. When Luther Tape is the board chair for the people of Monrovia. Who is he in the United Party? He is the party chairman. What change is the United Party bringing? The United Party, I saw one of their supporters writing on Facebook talking about CDC looted the country, and they CDC looted the country. They agree. If that argument must be accepted, that the CDC looted the country, yes. They looted now. You set them an asset recovery committee or asset recovery team. They have not recovered even pencil. One piece of pencil they didn't recover yet. You call it asset recovery team or asset recovery committee. They have not recovered pencil. And you know the $500 pencil you can buy for the children to go to school. They have not recovered that. Where is it happening? It's happening under the United Party regime now. So when you say you're criticizing something, let your criticism be real. Don't you criticize because you want to criticize. Yeah, the CDC looted. The one that Brempo said they should go. You came to power, now you're not looting. You set up as a recovery team. The first thing they started going after people private property. Well, people suddenly they're going after people private property instead of going after government assets. As a result, they have not been able to recover pencil. One pencil they have not been able to retrieve. Folks, there is more to talk about. And if the Unity Party did not succeed in the first year, if they underperformed in the first year, it's due to their own negligence. It is because they were more keen, their lawmakers were keen on removing speaker, and so at the end of the day, they did not do anything that they should be doing. So they needed to know this. If they did not perform, they should not blame anybody. The CDC lawmaker you saw, even though, yeah, it was different. The CDC had a CDC speaker, but there were still opposition people who intended to remove Buffer Chimoden as speaker. What did the president do? The president called them. The president then, President Weah, at that time, called them and talked to them. You think President Baka will not do the same? He should have done the same. He should have done the same. Today, as we speak, the majority number continue to drop. Since former President Weah entered the country, he has been talking to CDC lawmakers that are in the majority bloc to pull out. Folks, there are meetings that are being held. I told you I'll give you breaking news. There are meetings that are being held by the former president. He has been talking to CDC lawmakers and he has been able to sufficiently convince them. Some of them are putting out of the majority bloc. Tomorrow we will expand on that. I will play you some audios here. Audios for in chat rooms, audios for in meetings. You wondering how I can get the audios there? We'll play it tomorrow. Don't worry. You got a wonderful presentation tomorrow. But let's take a few calls if we can't. We have 10 minutes to sign off town for the show to end officially. The number to call, alternative number. We're still working on getting the studio number back. We've been having some problem, but we will settle that. It will be settled. Don't worry about that. But let's take calls on the number 0778 440964. Again, 0778 440964 is the number to call to be a part of the program inside Liberia on Kia Radio 95.9. My name is Morris Desmond Brown, of course. I'm here in your company from Monday to Friday. We talk politics and talk about the issues that really do matter to Liberia. If you are thrilled by some of the issues that we've discussed, you can call that number 0778 440964. 440964 is the number you can call to be a part of the program. You can lay in your thoughts on some of the issues that we've spoken about. You can disagree. Don't worry. We are here and we do not know it all. We know there are some issues that you may not want to agree with, and there are some issues you may want to agree with our analysis as well. But if you want to participate, just call us up on 0778 440964, and you will be loud and clear on this radio, Kia Radio 95.9. Again, we're not against people governed. We're against the fact that you criticize a particular thing and you come back, you do the same thing. You do the same thing, which is not fair in any instance. It's not fair. I didn't say you should beat me, I said you should call. So those of you who are beeping, I wouldn't call back. 0778 440964 is the number you can call to be a part of the program on the radio, Kia FM, Kia Radio 95.9. Inside Liberia is the program, and we are definitely talking about Liberia. 0778 440964 is the number you can call to be a part of the program as we discuss issues concerning Liberia. Again, Liberia is all that matters to us, and we can only hope to continue to talk about those issues right on this platform. I still seeing calls coming in, but I don't know why they keep going off. calls are coming in, but they keep going off. Again, 0778 440964 or 0778 440964. You can call that number, and of course, you will be loud and clear on Kia Radio 95.9. We are right here on the UN Drive in Central Monrovia, specifically on the UN Drive, opposite the BTC Barrack, adjacent the Radita Market. Again, we need to sound this as uh, an encouragement for all of you who want to do business. Our entity is open. The radio station is open to business-minded people. We can change that product. That product you are finding it difficult to sell out there. You are finding it to brand it. You're finding problem to branding that commodity or that product. We can brand that commodity for you right on this platform, and you will have profit that you cannot count, uncountable profits that you will continue to marvel on, and you won't believe that it is your business that is doing so well. All you need to do is to just visit us right here on the UN Drive, and our our rates are cheap, very very cheap. You can do business with us. You bring your commodity, we'll sell it for you. I mean, we will do all we can to make sure that that business is branded the best way, and you will have your customers inflow increasing on a daily basis. So, folks, tomorrow is another day. We will be here, and we encourage you to be a part of us tomorrow. To come, let's take this person. This person's been calling. Good evening. Good evening. Mhm. Hey, no problem. Mhm. Thank you so much for being a part. Always listen to Kia Radio 95.9. We are open to the public. We owe loyalty to no political institution. We are independent in our judgment. That is why we talk the way we talk, because we do not owe loyalty. We do not owe loyalty to any political party. We are just independent. Folks, we can go home like this, and we can be back, or we will be back tomorrow. Same time, 4 o'clock. Tomorrow, join me as we talk about the issues that matter to Liberia. We don't know, but tomorrow might be just another presentation. Until then, those of you who are celebrating birthdays today, happy birthday. If you're celebrating anniversaries, if you're celebrating graduation, whatever it is, we want to say thank you so much for always being a part. Uh, we are very grateful that you have joined us. So again, we want to say thank you, and we want to go, we want to go, we want to go, we want to go. We want to go like this, but don't worry. We will definitely be back tomorrow, same time, same station. And Rebecca Garcia says she was watching. Thank you so much for joining us on the program, and thank you so much for watching us on YouTube. Tomorrow is another day, folks. We will be here. Until then, let's keep the peace of our country, Mama Liberia. Until then, I want to say goodbye from my end. Tomorrow, we will be right here.